Okay, good evening. I'm going to wait for you guys to pop back on. And as you pop on, if you can just post hi so I can see if you're able to actually follow me and comment. Okay, perfect. Thank you for joining, Jamie. Give me a couple of seconds just because I had to log off and log back on because people were unable to post a comment. And I think I've resolved that. Okay, let me see. Okay, so I'm going to start over. Hopefully, you guys can actually post a comment. My name is Latanya Thompson, and I am the Purpose Authority Coach. I work with women who have experienced personal and professional trauma. I help them to do the inner work, document the process so that they can rewrite their story. The reason for the Periscope tonight is because I have a question that I want to ask. And the question is, have you identified the knee that is in your neck? This is in regards to what has recently happened. And everyone all around the world has probably seen the video or at least heard comments in regards to George Floyd. And so a couple of days ago, I actually posted on Facebook. And I'm going to read the post and then go into the actual conversation. And this is going to be interactive. So I'm going to ask that you guys actually comment, that you engage. I want your feedback. I want to know what areas that you feel like a knee has been applied to your neck. This is not a physical knee. This is someone trying to hold you down because maybe of your age, your color, or sex. This doesn't have to go outside of your home. This could actually be going on inside of your home. And so for a lot of people who are African American, I know that growing up, a lot of us had heard, you're going to be just like your dad. You're going to be just like your mama, or you never going to amount to anything. You're going to be pregnant at 16. You're going to drop out of high school, right? These are someone applying their knee to our neck, putting that doubt inside of us. You may have had a parent. You may have had a sibling. You may have had the community, a school teacher, a friend, a family member, a job, a boyfriend, a girlfriend. The truth is, I believe at one time or another, we've all had a knee in our neck. And so let me read to you what I posted. I have been quiet regarding George Floyd. But yesterday was a hard and emotional day for me. I am still lost for words and unable to watch the video. I've asked myself, what can we do to make a difference, change, and I still don't know the answer. On yesterday, I replaced the image of the police officer knee with titles, positions, and people who had a sense of entitlement, who had or still placing pressure on someone else's neck in hopes of keeping them down, killing the dream on the inside of them, or making it impossible or difficult for them to move ahead in life. I know the two cannot be compared because they're not the same. However, there are people who will never understand the pain associated with pressure being applied to a certain area of your body, life, while people are watching and doing nothing. People who had the power to do something and did nothing. And others who watched in disbelief and feeling powerless. Again, I still don't know what we can do, but I hope this post causes you to change your question from what can we do to what can I do. I believe if we look closer and deeper, we will see the evidence of domestic violence taking place in the home of someone we know. I also hope that we begin to document those things in our workplace who have those people in our workplace who have abused their title and their position and report it. How much longer will we ignore what we see and hear? I cannot speak for anyone else, but I refuse to keep silent. There's a lot going on in the world, and it is impacting us, either directly or indirectly. And I think it's time that we expose every area. So it's easy to say that it was a police officer. And what happens is we get so caught up in what we see that we don't look outside of what's not being shown. Does a police officer putting his knee in someone's neck cause me to be fearful? Yes. But what scares me more are the people who don't wear uniforms, are the people who perform their job behind closed doors, and there's no cameras, and it's not being documented. The only thing that makes this different, because it's been going on for years, is because we were able to videotape it. Because I know without a shadow of a doubt that the police department has a legal team, and that they're going to be coached and instructed on what to say and how to say it. That when they go before a jury of 12 people, that they know how to tell the story and paint the picture. The only difference is they're going to have to paint a picture around what was captured on camera. That's what makes it different, which means that when you tell your story, you're going to have to include what we caught on camera. Can you imagine what would be told in a jury room with no one having any evidence but the evidence that's being presented to them, with a picture being painted to justify what was being done? Can you imagine the picture that would have been painted about George? Maybe that he was resisting arrest. Maybe that they felt threatened because of his size. It's funny that whenever someone is killed that's African American, that they dig up our past to try to justify what they did and try to devalue our life based off a moment in time and a choice we made. But the moment they can't find anything to support what they did, they then go and say, because of who this person is and what they stood for, they would want you to be lenient and take in consideration what they believe and the work that they've done and how they were a caring person. The narrative change. Because again, I'm painting a picture. I'm dealing with your emotion and your intelligence. I'm trying to get you to buy into something that's not even true. And I'm not saying this to go against the police. I'm saying this to say that replace the police officer with the uniform with another position, another title. Can you imagine being under the needle with the doctor who's prejudiced? Can you imagine getting in the back of an ambulance where a paramedic that's prejudiced and it not being able to be captured? And I'm not saying this to put fear in you. I'm saying this because it's time that we look at the bigger picture and that we look not only at what's being shown to us, but what we cannot see. You may not agree with the KKK, but here's what I do respect. They wear sheets and make it easy for them to be identified. And we know what they believe and we know what to expect. But what do we do and how do we prepare when the sheets have been removed and replaced with a title, a position, and a badge? Now, how do we identify them? And here's the danger. Instead of taking one person's life, they now impact every life that's attached to it. So imagine an African American man being married, and imagine him being torn down at work, made to feel less than a man, made to feel that if he does anything wrong, that he'll be without a job that supports his wife and his kids. How does that man show up at the home? How does it impact the wife? How does it impact him as a father, raising men or raising a daughter that will one day become a woman? We've never thought about that. And so while we're worried about people who are being honest about what they believe and they're telling us, and we feel like, what can we do? I still don't know the answer. But here's what I do know. I know what I can do. And the problem when we say, what can we do? We have to wait for everybody to get on board. We have to wait for everybody to come to agreement. We have to wait for everyone to be on the same page. But when you say, what can I do? That means I'm not waiting for anyone. That means I'm not coming in agreement with anyone. That means I'm not looking for anyone to support me, but that I'm doing it by myself. And you're probably saying, well, what can I do? There's a lot you can do. The first thing that you can do is you can identify the knee that is on your neck. You can identify the knee that has been on your neck. I want you to think about it. When was the first time you had a knee placed on your neck? How old were you? Were you 5? Were you 7? Were you 9? Who placed the knee on your neck? And how long did they leave it there, applying pressure, making it uncomfortable, difficult to breathe and live a normal life? I just had someone say 8. And without exposing who the person is by their name, can we say a parent? Can we say a sibling? Can we say the community, an uncle, a family member? Can we say a teacher? Can we say the system? Can we say the educational system? Can we say a spouse? Can we identify who the person was? And here's the thing. Even if they only applied pressure for a small amount of time, doesn't mean that there was not damage that was done that we're still dealing with. Let me share a quick story. It happened maybe 10 or 12 years ago. I was working long hours. I was probably working 6 or 7 days a week. I was doing a lot of things that um, trying to move ahead, trying to accomplish some things. I'm reading the comments as well. And I remember having tingling um, down my face, my arm, and I thought, did I have a stroke? What's going on? And I remember being afraid to drive. And I didn't want to call 911 because I was like, I don't know if I'm going to make it until they get here. I wasn't sure what was going on with my body. And the tingling and the numbness made me nervous. And so I called some friends because I was afraid if I drove, that something major would happen before I got there. And when I got there, they took my blood pressure and it was fine. And as I began to tell the doctor what was going on, he knew exactly what was wrong with me. What had happened was, over the amount of time of me thinking I was dealing with the stress had pushed against a pinch nerve in my neck, causing me to have the pain. And I remember this conversation because the doctor says, I know you're in a lot of pain, but I have to apply pressure to the pain in order to release it. And it's going to hurt, but it's necessary. And I'm saying that because sometimes there's people in our lives that are skilled and they know how to add pressure and where to add the pressure to relieve what you're going through. And that's when you begin to do the work. And so I'm not talking about that pressure. I'm talking about somebody deliberately trying to hurt you, deliberately trying to impact you, deliberately trying to cause you not to be who you were created to be. And isn't it funny that the first knee that we had in our neck most likely came from a family member that we thought we could trust? And then we became labeled as the problem. because of how we responded to the problem. And so, with all that is going on in the world, it has caused me to go deeper and look inside of me to begin to identify the needs that I've had in my life. Now, church people are good for saying, I'm not broken, I'm not broken, I'm not broken. And though you may not be broken, let's identify the cracks in your life. Let's identify the damage that it has done and how it's caused you to change and not be the person that God created you to be. Answer this question. Who did you have to become to survive the knee in your neck? Who did you have to become? And I want you to think about that, because we either went to the left or to the right. So the knee, it impacted us. It caused us to be somebody that we were not born to be, because we were trying to survive something that was trying to take the life out of us. We either became very passive or we became a fighter. And I want you to identify who you had to become in order to survive the knee that was placed in your neck. Because when you begin to do the inner work, you got to go back to who you were originally supposed to be. Have you ever thought who you would be had you not went through the stuff that you allowed to change you? And it's nothing to feel bad about, because everything that we've gone through, everything that we've used, everything that we went through, we can use for our purpose if we allow it to work on our behalf. When the COVID-19 first took place, it was all the stuff about gloves, about masks, about hand sanitizer. Whenever we went outside the house, we made sure that we were protected, so that when we went outside and came in contact with others, we would not bring anything back in our house that would impact those that we loved and we trusted. And I had an aha moment. I said, what would happen to my life if I took that much time to protect me from what's outside my house? What would happen if when I'm in my house, I protect myself from what's going on outside my house? Because here's what I know. I can't control what's going on in the world. But what I can control is what's going on in my world, my house, my body, my mind, my heart. I have control over that. And so I had to begin to say, how do I protect myself from everything that's going on outside of my house? That when I come inside my house, I don't impact anybody with the negative, with the fear, with the doubt and the unbelief. And so I had to begin to change my diet, because what I ate caused me to crave sugar, and sugar is a false high. It caused me to want more sugar. I had to look at what I was drinking. I had to get rid of the soda pop and drink more water. I had to add fruit to the water to cleanse my body. I had to take vitamins to keep everything functioning like it needed to. I had to make sure I was exercising. I had to make sure I was getting enough fresh air. I had to monitor what I was watching on TV. I had to monitor what I was watching and liking on Facebook, so that when I left my house, not only had I protected my physical body, but I had it protected my spirit. That when I came in contact with somebody, even with a mask, even with gloves on, I can still catch the spirit of fear. I can still catch the spirit of doubt. And so I had to make sure I was protected. And when I began to shift my mindset, when I began to focus on me and what I could control, it put me in a different position. Now, here's the advantage that we have. If you were ever not rich, and I'm not saying you were poor, but your mom knew how to make it last from one check to another check, you were able to revert back to what you knew. So I had one up on a lot of people. I knew how to buy a pack of chicken and break it down. I knew how to buy a bag of potatoes. I knew how to make French fries, smothered potatoes, twice baked potatoes, mashed potatoes, right? Because I had already been in a place where I didn't have a lot. So with what I had to make it work and stretch. As we begin to go through this stuff in this world, I'm going to need you to tap into what you know, what you've been taught, and pull it out. President. You would think that a lot of us would have started building business. A lot of us would have started going back to school and taking our lives to another level. I'm not saying some of us didn't do it. I'm saying the majority of us didn't. But the moment COVID-19 happened, I saw people starting their business. I saw people shifting their mindset. And here's the reason why. We were built to grow in hard times. We could identify with it and we knew exactly what to do. We knew exactly what to do. When we had President Obama, Barack in the White House, it was foreign to us. We didn't know how to process it. We didn't know what to do. We wasn't used to it. But the moment hard times hit and what you thought would have killed us, we began to bloom. We began to take off. We began to have ideals. We began to step into something we had not stepped into. Why? Because we was built for hard times. When you think about where we've come from, when you think about all that we've gone through and what we've been able to accomplish, we are unstoppable. We are unstoppable. But we have to stop waiting to say, what will we do? And begin to ask God, what can I do? What can I do? I wasn't there when it took place, so I couldn't remove his knee. I couldn't speak up. I couldn't do anything. But on my job, is there a person with a uniform that is going around placing their knee in somebody's neck? Are people discriminated because of someone's age, color, or sex? Have we not been given our fair opportunity? And if you have not had a knee placed in your neck, the next question I want to ask you, has your knee been in somebody's neck? It's easy to attack somebody when we want to play victim. But if ever from a place of hurt or fear, have you placed your knee in somebody's neck? Have you placed your knee in your sibling's neck? Have you placed your knee in your spouse's neck? Have you placed your knee in your baby's neck? Have you placed your knee in a client's neck? Have you placed your knee in an employee's neck? Have you placed your knee in a co-worker's neck? Have you placed your knee in anybody's neck to get ahead or because of fear that was inside of you or because someone had damaged you, you now want to damage somebody else? Have you sat back and watched someone place their knee in someone's neck and said, it has nothing to do with me? It ain't my business. It ain't my problem. I ain't getting into it. I'm going to mind my own business. I'm going to act like I don't see nothing. I ain't saying nothing. That ain't my battle. Because you feel like because you went through it and survived it, that everybody that goes through it should be able to survive it. You feel like because there was nobody to remove the knee out of your neck, it's not your responsibility to remove the knee from somebody else's neck. How selfish and self-centered have we become as people, that we don't want to get involved, that we don't want to do anything that is not our business. But it is. See, we assume because the child is a bully and we don't have kids, or our kids is out of school, it ain't my business. Well, what about your grandkids? What about your nieces? What about your nephew? And what do you think happens to the bully when they grow up? You think they stop bullying? No. Now they do it with the title. Now they do it with a position. Now they do it behind a badge. When we talk about domestic abuse, people think that it's physical only. And there's 19 different types of abuse that falls under that. Who would you be if you identified the knee in your neck and removed it? Who would you be? Sometimes it's not easy to fight for ourselves because we feel like we're not worth it. And sometimes we've went through it for so long. Have you ever said, I don't have anything else to fight with? Have you ever been in a physical fight or watched someone fight till they had nothing left and they literally say, I give, it's over, I quit. I have nothing else inside of me to fight. I don't even have the strength to hold on to you and make sure you can't swing on me till I catch my breath and can swing. I have nothing inside of me to fight. Have you got to that point? I don't care how tired we think we are. Let somebody hit our child. Let somebody hit our parents. Let somebody come after our sibling. You get a second wind. I know you're tired. And you may feel like you have nothing left. But I want you to begin to visualize the impact that it has on the generation after us. I want you to begin to visualize that if I don't begin to fight, what choice do my children and grandchildren have? I owe it to them. I owe it to them. And so what I'm going to do is, if there's anybody on here, I'm on Facebook, Latanya Thompson. If you want to have a conversation with me to say, I don't know how to identify the knee on my neck. I've identified the knee on my neck. I've identified several knees on my neck. And I don't know which one to remove first because I'm tired. I want you to reach out to me. This is not a one-time conversation. I'll be coming back on next week with other people who have joined with me. And we're going to talk about the educational need that's on our neck, the domestic violence need that's on our neck, the workplace bully need that's on our neck. We're going to begin to identify and talk about the needs on the neck. And so I ask you a couple of things. One, to identify the knee on your neck. Two, to begin to do the work to remove the knee on the neck. Three, to get out of you or to go deeper so that you can see the knee or the knee print that was left on someone else's neck. Again, I don't know what we can do, but I know what I can do. And I am committed to helping anyone I come in contact with remove the knee from their neck, to identify the knee in their neck, to help them and support them through the process, to help someone else. Because how much more do you think our bodies, our mind can take before we break? And I was talking earlier about, we say that I'm not broke. It didn't break me, but it cracked you. How many cracks do you have? And what will the next crack do to you? Let's begin to deal with it before life happens and leaves you shattered. Thank you guys so much for listening. I will continue to read the comments. If there's a need that you identify that you don't want to post and go public with, let me know. If there's a need that I haven't identified that you would love to hear about, let me know. I have two people that are going to be talking about domestic violence. And if there's financial, physical, emotional, if there's a specific one that you're dealing with, let me know. Again, I do not have the answer to what we can do, but I do know what I can do. And I hope you ask yourself the same question. What can I do? And as small as it may seem to you, it's huge to someone who has lost their voice or is too tired to fight. Thank you guys so much. I'm looking forward to just bringing more information and supporting you. And again, though, I spoke a lot about African American people. This has nothing to do with color. I said age, color, or sex. So whether you are Hispanic, whether you are a different from a different culture, whether it's religion, whether it's because you're too young, you're too old, your education, whatever it is that you feel like has held you back, that deals with your confidence and your self-esteem. It impacts us. I don't care what anybody says. It does. When you have no one to believe in you, it makes it challenging and difficult to believe in yourself. And so they started something and we're going to finish it. We're getting ready to expose and reveal the stuff that goes on behind closed doors that people may not see, may not have recorded it, may not have documented it. We are going to remove knees, one knee at a time. Have a wonderful evening. Again, thank you guys. I'm super excited. If you are an expert in the area, please reach out to me. Your voice needs to be heard. And if you can remove a knee from anyone's neck, I definitely want to join with you. I definitely want to get the word out. If there's things that's going on in your culture that we may not be aware of it, I want you to expose it, because we need to give our future a fair chance. And it's not fair that they don't have a fair chance. It's not fair that they're living in fear. right? And so, again, what can I do? We can make a difference. We can make a difference. We can and we will make a difference. So, again, thank you. Have a wonderful evening. I'm not going to go on another another rant and just keep talking. Um, but look for me. Look for me on Facebook. Look for me on Periscope. And I will have the next speaker up within the next 48 hours in the topic. Thank you guys. Have a blessed evening.